Well, a more light-hearted story, perhaps, for Lebanon. Millions tuned in last night to see Yasmina Zaytoun crowned Miss Lebanon. The event was trending on social media all across the region, and our Middle East correspondent, Sarah Schlala, tells us about the event.
17 hopefuls from across Lebanon, but this jury could only choose 9 contestants. Of course, there can only be one winner. 2022's Miss Lebanon is 20-year-old journalism student Yasmina Zaytoun. She hails from South Lebanon, winning the contest with the modified title of We Miss Lebanon, an indication of the country's prolonged crisis.
Miss Lebanon is a message of hope, so I hope that everyone will work in his topic, so I'm so happy to be here.
The reporter asking the beauty queen what her feelings are after the contest being on hiatus for 3 years because of the COVID pandemic and the economic crisis gripping the country.
This indicates that Lebanon is back to normal, and this is a message to all Lebanese.
Yasmina Zaytoun crowned Sunday evening on the Forum de Beirut stage by Miss Lebanon 2018 Maya Raidi. Maya couldn't be happier to give her crown away after 3 extra years of holding on to it.
It's time to see Lebanon shine again, and I'm positive that after tonight we will have changes, we will have positive changes. I wish the best of luck to the new queen, and it's time for Lebanon to come back on its feet again.
This former Miss Lebanon as well says nothing will stop the Lebanese from pushing on. Even the event space chosen for the pageant was one that was badly damaged during the port blast in 2020.
This event is proof that the Lebanese people will continue despite all the difficulties they are passing through.
But as for the beauty queen herself, well, Yasmina will be representing Lebanon in the next Miss World and Miss Universe competitions going forward.
Well, joining us in the studio to talk more about that, our Middle East correspondent, Sarah Schlala. Great to see you, Sarah. So we just saw a lot of glamour on the show there. Just tell us a bit about where the government stands on this contest. Is it supported by the politicians?
Completely backed by the politicians, Laura. So the government wanted this event to go ahead. Some politicians have even spoken out prior to the event. We even had one come out yesterday during the live ceremony. Walid Nassar, he's Lebanon's outgoing tourism minister. So we heard a few things from him there. The event, even this year, it's a little bit different because it's held in collaboration with the tourism ministry and who are sponsoring the event. It's part of a campaign to bring more tourists into the country, and they've also worked really closely with the Lebanese Broadcasting Corporation International, also known as LBCI TV. The station there helped organise the event and then broadcasted it live as well.
Should we take a listen to him then?
Let's take a listen to that, yes.
It's not only about the beauty contest, but it's a very important stage for Lebanon because we are reviving the role of Lebanese Arab women. It is also an excellent tourism stage because the women, and especially the Lebanese, have proven their existence in Lebanese society and their competence. We hope the Lebanese, Arab and international audience will enjoy today's event.
So we just heard from the minister there. So as you say, is this a way for Lebanon to kind of get the tourists in because they are just so good at putting on these beauty pageants?
I think so. I think if right at the end of that, if you guys heard, he said that he hopes that the Lebanese, Arab and international community actually enjoys the event. So I know that I make mention of this in my package earlier, but the difference this year is that the title is really modified. So it used to be Miss Lebanon pageant. Now it's We Miss Lebanon pageant. So they're really celebrating Lebanon's beauty, and it's also played a part in the campaign by LBCI and the tourism ministry here as well. So obviously we know that Lebanon's endured a lot over the last few years, which meant that it had to go on hiatus, this particular event, for 3 years. So we didn't have one in 2019, 2020 and 2021. Now it's returning in 2022.
Oh, that explains why it was so huge this year, because people have missed it for the last 3 years.
Yes, exactly. And also it's attracted a lot of attention in the Arab world as well. So there's this trending We Miss Lebanon hashtag as well going on around the Gulf and the Middle East, especially in the United Arab Emirates, where a lot of the Lebanese diaspora actually live. And also in the run-up to the event in Beirut, in the capital, there were many billboards dotted around the roads with the slogan, "We miss celebrating Lebanon's beauty." So again, it plays into this wider "We Miss Lebanon" campaign, which has become really massive. But also these competitions, the sort that you grow up watching, at least in Lebanese households. And for more than 9 decades, they've been the fixture on Lebanese televisions, even dating back to when Lebanon was still under the French mandate.
So it's kind of firmly entrenched in Lebanese culture, you would say?
Yes, of course. So since the 60s, so they've got like an annual date every single year, a specific date when this contest goes to air. So of course we've had this hiatus for 2 years, but usually no longer than 2 consecutive years in a row that there is a hiatus. Like one was back in 2006 for particular reasons, particular political reasons, that we didn't have it air then. And then now, obviously, because of the COVID pandemic and economic crisis.
And also, I just want to say, I mean, Lebanese women have this reputation as being very modern, very forward-thinking, very independent. I mean, does a beauty pageant kind of fit in with that, do you say? Is that compatible?
I think it is. I think it's, as you were watching there in my little package, it's a lot of colour and light and extravagance, and I think the Lebanese really live by that. Like, it's something that is really like entrenched in the culture and just the upbringing. So it was a little bit sad to not see it air for a couple of years there. But also I kind of see it as a desperate plea a little bit to get the word out there internationally that, hey, we may have had a 3-year hiatus over here, and we may have had to shut down our economy for quite a few years, and you know, but we are still suffering, but at the same time we're still standing. We want you to visit us, we want you to come, and we still want to paddle on and push on, and we want you to support us. So I think that that's really the message here that the government is trying to send, like a message of hope. And I feel like this woman, Ms. Zaytoun, winning this is just this message to bring tourists back to the country and help breathe that new life into Lebanon's struggling economy somehow.
Absolutely, and congratulations to her. And thank you very much indeed, Sarah Shala there. Well, that brings us to the end of tonight's edition of Middle East Now. Thanks for watching. We'll be back at the same time tomorrow. Just stay with us on i24 News. Caleb Ben David is here next with the rundown. That's next.